do people get concerned about how they look like when they record podcasts?
I think the part are just too stressed about what they're going to say, so they forget about the cameras and thinking about that. The
Yeah.
other part, which is more comfortable about what they're going to say, they maybe think about and they make a joke or two about how they look. But actually, no, not that much, because we make them look so good they're not worried about
No,
that.
with this infrastructure for sure. But when I was recording with my guests, and especially with women, and women have this thing. So I've got my working side.
Yes.
So he's so funny. Oh my God. I had to change one.
I think everyone has that, even male.
So are you concerned?
I'm not concerned. I stopped being concerned because with so many recordings, if I am concerned, I don't think I would do
Yeah.
much. But they do have my better
That's a good question. So how many episodes did you record last year?
I think we recorded in total around 70 something last year only, or even more with the events
Wow.
that we visited, GITEX and Web Summit. I think it was even more than that.
Wow.
In total, we are now at 130 something episodes.
How does
of
it
the Change
feel?
Officer.
How does it feel? You tell me, how does it feel?
You know what? Like I can't say that I'm not proud about it, but I'm always and everyone who knows me says that about me. You're always the realistic one, Whenever we do something, I'm like, okay, guys, it's okay. It's nothing big, I'm never appreciating or giving myself credit for achieving anything.
And by the way, they are recording.
Yeah.
They are recording, so we have
Oh.
to be, yeah. So you ready? So I think it's great that we're meeting finally, and I basically wanted us to catch up after 2021, which was crazy for me, frankly, covering a lot of things, and to cover basically two things: the core takeaways from your show. I can share you
Yeah.
from mine. And then what are the perspectives for 2022?
Honestly, it was an amazing year. I really, now when you look back, and if you think about the beginning of 2021, I don't think that we even knew each other at the time, or maybe we just met. Podster was just starting, the Change Officer was finishing first half of the year. And now after these 12 months, it's really amazing where we ended up to be in this whole studio now that we're sitting in, and 70 episodes behind us.
Yeah.
And you started your own show. You had another child. You had a new job, like a lot of new things happened. And I think it was just an amazing year. Very transformative.
It was very, very fruitful year for sure. It was totally different from what I expected, but it was a very, very fruitful year. But anyway, so you mentioned 70 episodes. You mentioned startups, and I'm watching your episodes, of course. And can you tell me 2-3 things, maybe one thing, you as a person who knows the startups ecosystem, what are those 1, 2, 3 things that surprised you? That actually made you feel, wow, I didn't know that. And I think that is going to be a core takeaway from your show.
I'm not sure if I'm the exactly the right person to comment on whether I didn't know something. Not that I say that I know everything, but I'm quite aware about like all the parts of the startup ecosystem, etc. So some things surprised me, some things gave me a bit more optimism. But maybe we can ask guests in LinkedIn posts, like what were the key takeaways for you? Because someone who is just entering the space of startups could be, wowed or surprised or shocked by some things. But I can say that like part of the guests were founders of startups. The other part were corporates, venture builders, investors, etc. I think overall, I can take a conclusion that I'm significantly more optimistic about the future of this region after this year and everyone that I spoke to.
That's great to know.
And like in talking from my perspective, until this year, I was still in a bit of a place where, are we staying here for a long time, long term, or are we going to be here for another couple of years and then move somewhere else? I think after this year, I'm quite confident I'm going to stay here for a lot longer than what I anticipated in the beginning. And the reason for that is just because there are so many great things that are in the roadmap that are happening, that are actually happening, that we learned from everyone that was on the show, that is really giving us a great pinch of optimism and excitement about what's to come. for this region. Startups all agree that there's one thing that we should work on is how to unify the whole region and how to turn like single markets. You have KSA, you have UAE, that are all like UAE 11 million people, KSA, I don't know, 26, Egypt 100 million people. How can we unify these markets into one big market that will be regulated by some common framework so we can open up and have a lot more opportunities? That's something that everyone is hoping for. We had a lot of episodes talking about sustainability and what's to come, and definitely this region has great potential to be a leader, true leader in sustainability, carbon, being carbon neutral, carbon negative, etc. So that's great. Although a lot of people thought, oil, how can you go green with so much oil being produced? But actually, there are some great things happening. So overall, I'm really optimistic about what's to come.
Amazing. Yeah, so that's a great...
What do you think?
That's a great core takeaway. So my conversations were more about, personalities and how to develop as a professional, be a marketing professional, be a business and a marketing within a business. And I sort of took away 3 things: resilience for the business.
Right.
So you have to develop, you have to practice resilience as a person and as a business on all levels. And resilience means many things. So it's one of the most important ability of a business or people in the coming years. Same about critical thinking, with the amount of fake realities and the amount of things that are coming with metaverse, etc. So critical thinking becomes a must-have ability for professionals and for businesses.
Yeah.
Yes. And another thing, so we have to learn how to live in an uncertain world, and in the world that is staying uncertain. It's okay to be uncertain as a business, meaning be ready for a change, be flexible, be variable, don't get to some certain determined plan. Be ready to pivot.
So resilience, critical thinking, and be ready for change.
Ready for change in terms of do not get determined on any plans that you're building, because the world is uncertain. Be ready to be uncertain as well.
And it's okay.
It's okay. It's okay to be uncertain.
No, I think that this year, last 2020, 2021 really showed us that we can survive these extreme cases of rapid change in a short time frame. And after this year, and we are all lucky that we had an experience, these generations had the chance to experience something like this. I don't think that many generations will go through similar. Maybe once in your whole life you have a chance to go through something like this. Hopefully.
Yeah, we don't want to repeat 2020 for sure.
But it made us all tougher. I think it made us all tougher and made us all appreciate what we have a lot more. Focus on some things that matter more than the others. So I think overall it was really now when we look back and looking ahead in 2022, when we are leaving all of this madness behind, I'm pretty sure that we're going to leave it behind. I think we're getting into this new year a lot tougher, smarter, and more grateful.
Absolutely. And probably a couple of perspectives for 2022, like specific things that you can mention, maybe 1-2 perspectives. What do you think? Maybe a poster, maybe a podcast. I mean, whatever you have in mind, your perspective.
Well, look, I guess there are, you can approach it from individual, from my perspective, and the overall. With the amount of information that I consumed over 2021, it's kind of difficult to make some clear conclusions. From my perspective, I'm really looking forward to continue working on what I'm working now, because this is I don't know if I can say this, but maybe the first time that I'm really truly enjoying inside out thoroughly the process of building something.
I can see that from the infrastructure, by the way. So you have improved this studio it's just really, really difficult to compete to whoever wants to do a podcast on their own. So this studio is much better. Well done. I haven't seen it for a while, but it's just really amazing.
I hope it looks like that as well.
It does, absolutely does, yes.
But I'm really looking forward to that, and I think the whole region, when it comes to this whole space of podcasting, is going to pick up. Last year we saw a lot of traction. Almost everyone that we talk to now recognizes the opportunity and understands the benefits and the value behind content creation. this whole space will evolve, and I'm really happy that we are in a place to take the lead on some of these initiatives. We're at the moment one of the few who are focused on this area. Don't want to say the only one in this particular thing of B2B business podcast production, but definitely we feel like we are on a really good way, and I'm really excited about it, and to have you with us and all of our hosts that are working with us and partners. So I'm really excited about that.
So just to add to what you've just mentioned about the content, since this is one of the perspectives that I keep in mind. So social media, content creation, things like podcasts are becoming less of an exclusivity or a game. It becomes something, a day-to-day thing.
Absolutely.
So it becomes something that companies should, and some of them are doing at scale already now. So we're just in the niche where people are scaling up. So that's something we used to mention as an exclusivity for the next years.
Yeah.
For me, it's a usual thing now. So it's a day-to-day thing.
You know what they say, that the predictions are, and I can agree, that podcasting and video production and this kind of content production is the new blog era. What used to be blog, and then it picked up, and everyone had when you're working on your website, there are a couple of pages that you have about us, you have home, you have product, services, team, and then you have blog, right?
Yeah.
Podcast, I'm certain that podcast and videos will be very soon a must-have section of your website, company website, because it's absolutely the most efficient and the best way to communicate with your audience, with your team, with your partners, etc., and to share value. And it's all about that. It's all about sharing value.
So I think it makes sense, in the amount of things that people create, it makes sense to actually focus on creating a really valuable piece. Something that innovates, something that adds value to the amount of messages that we have around. So
Absolutely.
This is one of the perspectives, and I'm happy we discussed that.
Yeah. What was your experience with the podcast? You started the podcast this year.
Absolutely. No, it's something that I enjoy doing. It keeps me focused on different messages. I've realized as well that apart from marketing topic, I like to talk about personal development, about professional development, about what it takes a professional to become, let's say, more successful, more resilient, more unstoppable, how to open up opportunities, etc. So this is something that I think works for marketing and works for business and works for professionals as well.
Yeah.
So I'm going to continue that in 2022, surely.
Can't wait to see more episodes.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's going to be an interesting year, I believe.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. We're a bit late with this wrap-up reflection video, but we're just so busy with everything we had to do. So came now, but I can't wait to do another one in 2023 and reflect on 2022.
Yeah, I've got guests pulling up together, and it's going to be really interesting. So looking forward to 2022. Join the Change Officer podcast, the B2B Marketing Now, contactpodster.com. I think it's going to be an exciting year.
Yeah, for sure. Can't wait to see what's coming, and I hope that everyone will stay with us. Keep following and consuming value that we're producing, and see you in 2023.
Lovely.